Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to this episode of Soltech Bytes. I am Anay Pathak, advisory consultant with Dell Technologies. And I have two special guests with me today, Kapil and Sarthak, who are part of Product Management Group, Hybrid Cloud Business Unit in HCL Technologies. Soltech Byte talks about tales from tech or non-tech and is created for the members of Soltech community. A bit of caution before we start. Whatever we share in this episode is our personal views on technology and trend. We wanted to interact with community, and we also want to take your views and feedback based on the interaction which we have. Today's topic is very interesting. We all are living in a hybrid multi-cloud world, and today's topic is unlocking the true value of hybrid cloud in current data decade. Welcome, Kapil and Sarthak. So Kapil, I think I would begin with you. My question to you would be, in the current data decade, we are seeing more than 3 times growth in unstructured data. How do you think workloads will spread across edge, core, cloud, data center, considering multiple landing zones which we have in current IT infrastructure?
First of all, thank you for having us here. And to the audience, my name is Kapil Tiwari, as Anay highlighted. I'm part of HCL Technologies Hybrid Cloud Business Unit. So Anay, I think, yes, how you place the data, just want to begin, we all are aware that it's a era of digital transformation where all enterprises, they are really interested in automating their business processes as part of their core digital transformation strategy, where the business requirement are, to connect or collect everything. And that's specifically evolved, the rapidly growth of unstructured data storage requirements specifically. And it's not what I'm saying. Even in fact, if we refer some of the analysts from renowned analysts from like Gartner's, what they are saying, the unstructured data is growing day by day because of there are various multiple factors of this unusual growth. But yes, it's happening, and it's happening around 30 to 60%, over a year basis. And in fact, as I said, the Gartner had projected by 2024, this growth is going to be touch around something around 60 to 40%. That's why I said just now. So, one of the key aspects we need to understand how we are going, or how the enterprise is going to place these unstructured data. And when we are going to talk about these placement of these unstructured data, we need to also consider some of the key factors whenever, when we are to define or strategize the overall solution of placing these unstructured data in terms of what kind of a workload we really want to place it. Let's say, if the data is batching data, streaming data, how often you want to access it, what is the ingestion rate, storage processing, analytical requirement, and some of the key factors. As we are there are multiple verticals where we are providing solutions, then you need to focus on their what vertical specific classification policies, governance policies, security policy, retention and compliance policy. So we need to consider all these factors. And one important factor I would like to bring it here, with the rising of the edge computing requirement, the use cases, even the edge nodes nowadays will be provided by the cloud provider. And it is well known fact that edge use cases are typified for unstructured data. So just to conclude, what would be the right placement? As I said, there are multiple factors we need to consider, but end of the day, the smart way to managing the data is going to be the mix of all the three flavors. It's from edge to go to the cloud. Over to you, Anay.
Thanks, Kapil. I think very well said, right? The data landing zone would be mix of edge, core, cloud, and data centers.
Absolutely.
We have seen even hyperscalers are adopting to edge, right? Amazon
Right.
Outpost or Azure Stack and so on, right? So we'll have to make sure that we use these landing zones smartly to meet the business requirement.
Yes.
Having said that, Sarthak, I think we all understand in the data decade, the storage requirement keeps on growing, right? And with the growth in the storage, can you give me a recent example where you had to manage the capacity issue with some additional functionalities? And what improvisation can we see when it comes to storage in a hybrid cloud world?
Thanks, Anand. Thanks for having me, firstly. Well, I'm Sarthak, and I belong to the Hybrid Cloud Business Unit here in HCL Technologies as part of the product management team. Talking on Anay, your question, I feel that we have come a long way from the way the traditional storage protocols used to work. There used to be a time when HDD and SSDs were the way going forward, but now we have something like NVMe and NVMe over fiber channel, fiber optic. And lately, a lot of things are also being done around Octane memory. So when we talk about storage, I'll particularly talk about three aspects. The first one being the extensibility from on-premises to the public cloud storage tiers. So public cloud in itself supports all the traditional protocols, the RAID, the protection, the snapshots, and it is only just a matter of tweaking the customer's exact application and file needs and mapping them to the correct storage tiers. So whether we are looking at a Azure, GCP, or a AWS, primarily we have 3 to 4 categories of storage and we have multiple subtypes under them. So a lot of momentum has come out of the Keep and Elastic Object Storage for storing unstructured data as JSON objects. We can access them globally. Apart from that, we are also seeing that even the instance volume stores which are there in public cloud, the SSD storage, the public cloud storage in itself has come a long way. And when we are looking at some of the latest workloads like creating a data pipeline where proper ingestion, processing, and storage, all the three need to be in consonance. Another important aspect here that I like to bring out to you is that it's not just about the ingestion, the processing, and the storage. Customers are also looking for analytics kind of requirements and then storing those analytic records in unstructured data. So you see how the entire pipeline flows. Apart from that, we can also talk about something like caching, which is very common in public cloud these days. So apart from the storage requirements, frequent file caching so that end users don't face latency when they are accessing their workstation workloads on both SaaS, PaaS, and IS model. So all these things combined together along with integration with Elasticsearch and other analytics tools, storage itself has become huge, and I'm seeing a lot of growth in this particular domain, even when this domain is already in its niche.
Thanks, Arthak, and I agree with your thoughts around intelligent storage, right? So we need storage which can meet customers' use cases and solve business problem. And there is so much of innovation going on in this field as we progress in this data decade. We all see customers are going on to a cloud-first strategy. There is a CIO, CTO initiative around cloud-first strategy, but we need to make sure while we adopt the cloud-first strategy, we are able to run business critical workloads in the hyperscaler on a hybrid cloud world without the compromise in performance, and also making sure that we are giving cost benefits to the business in the end, right? So, Kapil, question I would like to ask you based on your experience, do you think migration of resources to public cloud will be a major trend? And I would like to know your views on how organizations will be adopting this as we progress further.
Okay, I think, you touch upon this, the need of the hour, just want to give a perspective that, this growth in cloud computing has been, mega trend over the last decade. And specifically, if we talk about in last 3 years, the key catalysts behind this steep growth are, I think it's well known, COVID-19 pandemic, lockdowns, work from anywhere, and which has increased the demand. In fact, in some of the research organizations input, regarding the prediction regarding the growth of the cloud computing over the couple of years by 2025, it's going to be around more than 30 to 40%. What we are doing, what is the trend in today's environment, and the key reason behind this kind of a adoption of the cloud environment is more move to the cloud based on the save money, become more agile, and drive digital innovative. In fact, in HCL, we have also come up with a cloud smart strategy altogether here, which talks about, not only just being a, cloud plus cloud native, but at the end of the day, you have to bring all those aspects of the element in terms of industry down view, how to smartly, adopt the cloud in the customer environment by adopting various factors, labs, and all these things. So that's precisely overall defined based on the strategy the customer really want to adopt at this environment. But end of the day, there is no straight answer, or I would like to say definite way or right way when it comes about to choosing a cloud migration path. And it definitely depends, and it varies from company to company, enterprise to enterprise, of workload and use cases. So as I said, based on our engagement as a cloud service provider with our customer, show that some of the key patterns has emerged, which, when we really want to migrate, or when the customer really want to adopt cloud migration journey in their environment. So first of all, just want to give, before I emphasizes on some of the key migrations factors, just want to just bring the perspective that whenever any organization really want to start their cloud migration initiative, all these cloud migration initiative has to be driven from their CIO and CTO office to align all the team involved in cloud migration, both from the infrastructure point of view as well as the application side. Okay, so you need a blessing from some CIO and CTO office. Now, generally, I'm sure most of the organization enterprises are really aware of 6 hours 7 hours kind of a strategy when they really want to move their workload to the to the cloud. But end of the day, from my perspective, I would like to emphasize in 4 or 5 buckets. One is lift and shift. Primarily, basically, I'm talking about rehost approach. It's basically a tactical approach. It's aimed to a quick wins, especially for your non-mission critical workload, which you can easily migrate, low hanging fruit, to meet your timeline and objective. And to be precisely, we have seen in few of our vertical like LSH manufacturing vertical, where the customer really want to migrate, where they have designed the strategy for next 2025. So they started with these low hanging fruit, which is being around 40 to 50% of their environment. But they really want to migrate to define their meet their timelines and objective. The second approach would be lift and modernize. Again, you can leverage the rehost thing, but you can modernize at the later stage, okay, as part of the migration process. But one thing we need to be aware, when you talk about the modernization or the refactor your application footprint, this is going to be a costly affair, time consuming affair. So you need to be a right approach when you talk about all the modernization. The other two thing is, one is retire. Instead of being migrated to the cloud, an application can be retired due to low business value, low business criticality. But we have seen the customer really want to retire a different kind of approach in terms of specification and specification of those kind of environment. And then finally retain, specifically the application just stay on the premises with no changes that we have seen in most of the financial vertical, where there's a heavy lifting required on those application migrations. So really want to retain on the on-premises and just looking for the right time to move them to the cloud migration strategies point of view. So that's the overall approach. So just want to conclude, no definitive right way, no right approach. You need to do a end-to-end assessment whenever you really want to define the migration of any enterprises. You have to strategize the overall workload, application, multiple factors. You need the blessing, and then you define the overall strategy. Over to you, Anay.
Thank you, Kapil. I think few key buckets, right? Lift and shift, lift and modernize, retire, retain. These are some of the important terms when we talk about hybrid cloud, right? And using multiple cloud of cloud, hybrid cloud, whatever we say, we need to make sure, as we started in the beginning, there's no impact on the business critical, mission critical workload when it comes to performance. And we can do cost optimization so that we can expedite the digital transformation or the infrastructure transformation journey, which we have started. So, Sarthak, with the diverse cloud platform, storages, containerized platform, we all understand we need that nirvana stage of single GUI to monitor everything. And everyone is looking at lowest TCO in the end, right? So what next generation procedures can be stitched to ensure that we achieve this state seamlessly?
Well, a very interesting question, Anay, and a very pertinent one. What we have been seeing in more and more customer conversations and the way market is moving, that we are adding more storages, we are adding more platforms, we are adding more containerized platforms. A number of hyperscalers are promoting a lot of their PaaS services. It could be a relational database service. It could be a Kubernetes service, a Kubernetes orchestration service. It could be anything related to any analytics service, or it could be something related to assessment as well. So what happens is that when we have so many platforms, operating systems, and storages side by side, and most of them are running in a hybrid model, or they could be cloud native. So having SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS model, which these platforms, OSs, and databases subscribe to, it becomes very important that we get a holistic feel of how to monitor these through a single GUI. Now, this is better said than done. A lot of efforts are being made on how to make this possible or make this through. Some of the techniques which I am seeing, which are becoming very, very popular, I'd like to name two important techniques. The first of them being FinOps, which is which is around optimizing the utilization of resources in public cloud. And it could be even a granular resource, or it could be anything like a whole database or a whole system, or a whole instance. So any granularity, what is our consumption pattern? What is the expected consumption pattern? What are the kind of instances we should switch to, whether a PaaS model makes more sense? All those kinds of insights through a single GUI, application wise and instance and storage wise, that is catered through the FinOps offering, which HCL itself is also prescribing to multiple customers. Apart from that, AI Ops, which is another very fancy term, which is being explored a lot. A lot of it has already been achieved in this space, and there is a lot to be achieved, which talks about information governance and optimization. The problem is that when we talk about the AI Ops platform, it encompasses machine learning, analytics, and multiple such terms. But creating that impact on the operations side is not very easy. We have to look at how issues which are repeatable in nature, which we need to troubleshoot and which are repeatedly happening, how to make use of smart analytics and machine learning so that some of them can be avoided. In this particular space, apart from AI Ops, we are seeing that even the CI/CD pipelines, like we talk about from traditional to agile to DevOps, and a CI/CD pipeline, DevSecOps. So all these initiatives are primarily to bring everyone on the same platform. DevOps brings developers and operations on the same platform. SREs are supposed to have knowledge around compute, storage, and even granular levels. So SREs, DevOps, IT operations, using AI Ops and FinOps, these are some of the things which every domain is looking at. And HCL follows a domain agnostic approach to reduce time and effort around this through a single GUI of monitoring. Thanks, Anay.
Thanks, Sarthak. I think FinOps, AI Ops, so Soltech community members will look forward to hear your thoughts around FinOps and AI Ops, because these are two key terms when we adopt the hybrid cloud strategy, right? So while we are sharing our views, we always look forward to your feedback and how you are adopting to these technology trends when we move to the world of cloud. I would like to end this session with another question around security, because security is key when we talk about anything, let it be data center, hybrid cloud, or multi-cloud world. And with the current environment of billions of connected devices, and while people want to move to cloud, how should they take care of the security in hyperscalers, private cloud, edge, core, data centers? So Kapil, my question would be, how will cloud security pan out, and how will organizations respond to cloud security challenges in their move to cloud? Because this has become one of the key challenge of CIO or CTO when they look to adopt cloud first strategy.
Right, Anay, I think this is one of the key, I would like to say, requirement, concern. As I said earlier also, the cloud computing is growing day by day, and it comes with its fair share of benefit, like improve IT efficiency, flexibility. We talk about the scalability, but every new revolution, every new things, when it come out with a certain kind of issues and challenges, and security is one of them. How to maintain the security postures specifically across all your cloud paradigm. And that's where we have seen, the cloud service provider like Google, Microsoft Azure, AWS, they continually to expand their cloud security service to protect their cloud infrastructure. And it is what we have seen, the end of the day, it's becoming the ultimate responsibility of the customer to implement proper cyber security in the cloud and secure data which is storing on the top of them. In fact, while the cyber security in the cloud is a shared responsibility, what we have seen for both the cloud service provider and the user, but many organizations don't properly or do not properly fulfill their responsibility. And major security issue in the cloud are centered around the data and how to access it, because the majority of the shared responsibility model in cloud computing services leaves these two core aspects completely onto the customer. It's customer who has to take all the parameter, the proactive parameters in terms of how to manage the data and accesses. In fact, some of the key challenges which in terms of cybersecurity in the cloud world, like data losses, data privacy, accidental leakage of credential, identifying, maintaining the necessary security control, balancing the shared responsibility, maintaining security between the cloud service provider and the users, issue related to the compliance and regulatory requirements specific to the verticals, how to secure data in cloud environment, and getting the right skill set and certified resources specifically. These are some of the key challenges which every enterprises nowadays are having when they are embark their journey or when they move to the certain kind of a workload to the cloud. You need to adopt certain common best practices across enterprises, what we have seen and what we are educating. And as a consulting exercise, when we are having a discussion with the customer, we generally propose all these kind of a scenario. Just want to bring a perspective, some of the common best practices in terms of conducting risk assessment at plan intervals. You can protect your data via encryption and rotation keys. You can define data value and the impact of its losses. You can develop and implementing the security architecture framework. You can apply the principle of least privilege to access control. You can establish policies, procedure for secure data removal and disposal. And definitely you need to give a special attention to data access, because in the cloud world, most of the things is being accessed by, yes, there you can with your WAN, LAN, specifically from the public cloud internet. So you need to do a special attention for data access via internet. And what we have seen, I think if you refer some of the research from the analysts, from most of the common threat has to be being evolved by the negligency of the end users or the employee. So you need to have to do performing a security awareness training for the user, the third party user, which actually are sitting on your premises, on your organization level. So you have to do awareness training for the users and employee. You need to implement the continuous security monitoring procedures. You need to implement AAA framework through which are looking for hardening the security foundation. And finally, there are multiple other way you can adopt multi-factor authentication. So in a nutshell, cloud security is quite dynamic, majorly depend on how well the end user understand and address the cloud computing security risk and availability to address all your security requirement when you are embarked or really want to move everything onto the cloud environment.
Thank you so much, Kapil. I think very, very well said, right? Security is a key factor while we drive this hybrid cloud transformation. And while we talk about moving to any of the shared platform, we need to consider these factors which are shared by you, right? So as a CISO organization, they have to come into that framework and they have to develop a framework so that CIO and CTO can adopt the cloud first strategy. Quick trivia. Ransomware attacks has increased drastically in current data decade and even more in new normal. It was every 39 seconds, there was an attack happening last year. It has now moved to every 11 seconds. So we all understand how critical is security for all of us. But I would like to thank you for sharing your views. And this is created for the community. So I'll request the community members, Salttech team members to share your views and let us know if what is shared in the episode is useful for you. And feel free to add on. We are here to learn, right? Any closing comment, Kapil and Sarthak, before we close?
I think you are right. There are multiple aspects, framework, policies, best practices. It depends on the customer to customer, vertical to vertical, that need to be followed and adhere before you definitely you really want to start your journey for the adoption of the cloud. But end of the day, you need to strategize every aspects really when you want to embark your journey on the cloud.
Just a small closing comment from my side. So we are seeing that creating frameworks and talking about best practices can only be brought into actual practice, when we have a proper consulting-led approach, which can not just help the customers on the hard side of the things, but also on the soft side of the things. So here, what we have been seeing typically is that the customers are expecting, enterprises are expecting us to define not just the framework, but also the proper processes and regulatory compliance related needs which need to be followed around that framework. So consulting driven approach, targeting both processes and technology is very important.
Thank you so much, Kapil and Sarthak, for your time. Stay safe, keep learning and keep sharing. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.